Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I just really want to take a second just to let you all know how much I appreciate this opportunity, and just to say like how much I've appreciated meeting all of you guys. I've been really impressed with the presentation so far and what you guys are studying and doing, and it's great to be here among you all. So right now I'm at the University of Houston. I am working on my doctorate, and I am in the geology department, Department of Sciences and Atmospheric Science, and I'm doing work in hydrogeology, hydrology, geochemistry. My background, I went to Franklin and Marshall College. While doing my undergraduate education, I participated in 2 Keck undergraduate research opportunities that took me to Quetico, where I did some undergraduate research and wrote a paper, and also took me to Hawaii, where I did a magnetic study. That was my senior thesis during my undergraduate, a magnetic study looking for buried fish ponds on the Big Island of Hawaii. Those Keck undergraduate research opportunities were what got me into geology. I did the first Keck when I was a freshman, the summer of my freshman year, and spending time out in the Quetico National Park. It was my first time doing camping, and camping with a purpose. Being out in nature and being able to get up in the morning and work in nature, that was what kind of turned the tide for me. Originally I was a physics major, and the idea of doing all my lab work outside kind of cemented my career in geology. Let's see. After I finished my undergraduate education, I actually went to work. Worked for several years in geotechnical engineering as a staff geologist, and while I was working as a staff geology, I went to CSUN at night to start my master's degree. Ended up taking a leave of absence and quitting my job as a geotechnical engineering and finishing my master's degree. I focused on sedimentology. I was doing a provenance study in New Zealand. It was an excellent opportunity. I had a great advisor at CSUN, Dr. Kathy Marsalia. She brought me into this project, and we spent 2 months in New Zealand. I was looking at sedimentary recycling in the Waipoa River system, looking at diversity of sediments from the headwaters down to the mouth of the system that emptied out into Poverty Bay. I had a great time out there, did some really good science in the field, got to muck around in a lot of river systems, and it was a lot of fun. And it was also good science, and taught me a lot. It was the culmination of this work was my first published work, where I was first author, and so that was good. Got published in 2008, this work. And so after I finished my master's, I went to work for the USGS down in San Diego, and transferred from San Diego to Miami, where I worked with FISC, which is the Florida Integrated Science Center, and Water Resources Division, and that's where I started doing hydrogeology and hydrology. I worked on a number of projects with the USGS. I did historic evapotranspiration. I did karstic studies looking at pathogen transport in the karst groundwater system in the Northwest well field in Miami. And then I ended up doing a lot of modeling work, a lot of hydrology, surface water and groundwater modeling, and ended my career that particular time with the USGS doing inverse modeling and optimization work, looking at water flows in the canals and how that affected ecosystems within the Florida Bay. After that, I went into the private sector and worked for an environmental engineering company as a project hydrogeologist. And there I did a lot of well work. I drilled injection wells, drilled public supply wells, was a part of water resources planning, and all different sorts of infrastructure work related to hydrology, hydrogeology, and public water systems. So I did that, and then I decided to stop doing that, and I wanted to have a family, and started teaching in Africa. Moved to Nigeria, and I taught, and still am teaching in geology there. So this is some of my work at USGS, American Modeling. Okay, so currently I am a doctoral student at University of Houston, and I'm looking at salt migration using three-dimensional variable density numerical modeling. I am looking at simulating fluid transport while focusing on fluid flow, solute concentration, and temperature, which hasn't been done yet. Usually you've been able to do one and the other, not all three together. And I'll be using the USGS program CWAT, and that's my study area.